Okay, so I don't know if this is going direct to YouTube. Probably is. I hope it is, because I don't have much memory left on this phone. Hey, so I bought a Toyota RAV4 Prime in end of August of 2020, which means that, you know, I live in Utah, just north of Salt Lake City, and none of the Utah dealers could get them, and basically you had to be in one of the zero emission states to get this early allotment of the Toyota RAV4 Prime. Different dealers give me different stories, different things I've read, but essentially it looks like they had some production issues related to either battery or COVID or both, and we're getting 2,000 or less of them when they had hoped to put 5,000 or more into the nation. And so they're only going to the zero emission states, and I worked the West Coast states pretty hard. Oregon in particularly is tired of hearing from me. I got on all the waiting lists. I paid refundable deposits at a couple different dealerships. But essentially what those deposits got me was an opportunity to buy this car at $5,000 over list, which I wasn't prepared to do. I mean, it's got a $7,500 tax credit, which I'd like to take advantage of in 2020. It works for me from a tax standpoint. It would help out. But if I'm going to give most of it back to the dealer, you kind of go, I don't know. But I decided with the cost of airfare during the COVID thing here, airfare's pretty cheap, and you know, the planes are pretty empty, and so I went, well, let's just look on the East Coast and see if I have anybody luck there. And bingo, found a dealership in Baltimore, Maryland, who would sell one to me for a reasonable markup. They did mark it up a little bit, but they also included the trailer hitch, which was important to me, and so I felt like I did okay. And it was the color I wanted. It had the roof rack crossbars I wanted, and it had the floor mat and what was the other thing? The HomeLink mirror. Those were all things I would expect anyway. The rubber mats and that. So it was really close to what I would have ordered, and it was the base level SE trim. So I pulled the trigger and bought it kind of sight unseen. They sent me a couple pictures, but I had never driven one. I just knew we own a Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in electric, and it is a very capable vehicle, but this is more so. The thing Toyota's done, which Mitsubishi didn't manage to do, is put enough battery in it that you can tap the battery, and they've made a car that is properly quick when you ask it to be. This is as fast as our Infiniti G35, our 2007 all-wheel drive G35 will do 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds was the brand new, you know, what it would do in the all-wheel drive version. And this is I think Toyota says 5.8, but Car and Driver, I think, got 5.6 or 5.7 out of it. Regardless, it feels as fast as the Infiniti, if not a little quicker at freeway speed. If I ask it to go from 80 to 100 miles an hour, that torque is right there, and it is properly quick, and impressively so, and I appreciate that. That's fun. It's just a fun thing to have. I didn't buy it for that. We're happy with the Outlander, but the Outlander is right at the limit. We've got a boat that we tow, and we're right at the limit of the Outlander's 1,500 pound rating, and the Outlander's never given me any concern, and it handles the boat ramps just fine. But it's kind of slow on the mountain passes and stuff. It doesn't quite have the same horsepower that this does. And so I'm hoping, this is rated for 2,500 pounds and towing. And so I'm hoping that it will do, it'll be a little more capable in that area. We have a place down in southern Utah, and we make a few trips each year where we're towing a boat for 300 miles. And so we went, let's upgrade to the RAV4. It's going to do a better job of that. The fact that it's fast, that's just icing on the cake. Now, the all-wheel drive's important because we live in a place that gets ice and snow. 9 times out of 10 you can manage with snow tires and two-wheel drive, but it's that 1 time out of 10 that you really appreciate the all-wheel drive. And it's those moments where you just weren't paying attention, or hey, the kid is sick and you got to take him to the hospital even though it's not the best weather to do it. Like last year, our grandson was born, and we went up to northern Idaho to see him in pretty bad weather. It was wintertime, and the Outlander handled it just fine. It did great. But again, it's also all-wheel drive, and so it's important sometimes. It's also nice on boat ramps. All-wheel drive can really help you out on a slick boat ramp. So all-wheel drive, able to tow. What else? Oh, it's electric. So hey, I commute to work on electricity, which is cheap. I can charge it at work for free, and this has the range that I could go back and forth even if they didn't charge it at work. But the 40 miles of range this gives me is almost double what the Mitsubishi can do, and so you'll run all your errands. You'll be able to, you're able to run all the errands. You're able to do the commuting, and if you live, so there's a cost savings. It's not huge with where gas cost is now, but if you live in a place like the Salt Lake Valley where we get wintertime inversions where the air gets pretty bad, and so if you can do something that can help out there, why not, right? And so this helps out a little bit with that. I know it's a drop in the bucket, but the more people who would be commuting on electric, I think the more we could help with that. But still be able to tow your stuff, and still, I think honestly, Ford and Chevy, they're missing the boat here with the hybrid drivetrain. They could put a V6 and a pickup truck with a V6 and 1,000 pounds of battery is still comfortably within the weight limits of the pickup truck, and you could have the performance like this will do, and the really affordable commuting, and then still with a V6 and the electric drivetrain working together, the hybrid drivetrain, you'd be able to tow significant loads, and I just think that Ford and Chevy need to catch up and Dodge. Those three need to do a pickup truck in this configuration. And I know they're working on it. I know Ford is getting closer, but I think honestly that Tesla has kind of gone, hey, electric is the way to go. And I love Tesla. A Model X would do everything this would do, but it costs twice as much, more than twice as much, and I can't tow 300 miles with it. When you're towing with the Model X, it's only getting maybe 150 miles, and you're fully depleted, and you're going to take a while to charge that battery. This hybrid drivetrain gives you the power to tow something and yet still use that electric for all your errands and your day-to-day commute. And I hope that some of the big three, in the pickup truck world realize that, what you could have there. Anyway, back to the Toyota RAV4 Prime. I am driving it 2,000 miles back from Baltimore, and it's a comfortable place to be. It is, what do I want to say here? The seat's fully adjustable, electrically adjustable. This is the base model, it's the SE. So cloth seats, but they're very comfortable. Great support, good lumbar support. I need lumbar support. The Mitsubishi doesn't have it, and I had to buy a cushion. But these, I would say these are as comfortable as the Infiniti seats, you know, in our Infiniti. I like them a lot. And yesterday was a 1,000-mile day. I did 1,000 miles in this thing, and I was fine, you know. My back's good. I'm, you know, and I'm not a spring chicken. I'm in my 50s, and it's a long drive. The other thing that really helps, and this is the first vehicle I've owned that's got this, is the lane tracking assist. It helps you stay, you know, in the middle of the lane. And, you know, I was like, I don't know if I really need a car doing that for me. I'm pretty good about staying in the lane, but it's a very impressive system. My first day was up and down in the mountains of Virginia and Pennsylvania, and at night, and it was handling all the twists and turns, all the changes in elevation. There was significant traffic, lots of trucks, and the adaptive cruise control and the lane tracking assist made it a really stress-free experience. That and the automatic high beam works really well too. They've really ironed out these systems quite well. Now, I've never driven a Tesla. I suspect their lane centering assist is even better. There, it just beeped at me. I'm basically driving it with you know, with two fingers, and if you don't do a little bit of input, it thinks that, oh, wait a minute, he's not really driving. But it holds the lane really well, and it really helps with the fatigue, you know. Makes long journeys very easy. That and adaptive cruise control is really nice that way too. And those are on the base model, you know. This is not the top model car. It's got you got to buy the top model in the Outlander to get those things. And now, granted, the top level of the Outlander, well, it was still more than this. So yeah, it's a good deal. I think I've rambled on long enough for this one. I should keep these things to 5 minutes, but I'm gonna tag it as driving the RAV4 Outlander across the country. Not the RAV4 Outlander, the RAV4 Prime. And very, very pleased with the car. It does a lot of things, and it does them well. And it's got a $7,500 tax credit. So we'll check in again and talk more about some of the other things we've done with it here soon.